Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 14, Chapter 58. The Gift I Like Most, Part 1 of 2. Embodiments of Love. For the past 5 days, various activities in Prashanti Nilayam have kept you busy, and none of you noticed the passage of time. The reason is that you become oblivious to time when your minds are concentrated on timeless divinity, with all your actions and thoughts merged in the divine, just as rivers which join the ocean become one with the ocean. Your minds, when immersed in the divine, become one with the divine. The universe is a manifestation of God. In every human being exists divinity, subtle and invisible. Association with good people and sadhana, spiritual discipline, are essential for discovering the divinity that is latent in the individual. The real purpose of human life will be achieved only when all our time and all our efforts are concentrated on realizing the divinity that is inherent in us. This realization is possible for every human being, but today people are engaged in actions contrary to this objective. They are anxious to know all about what is happening in America or England. They wish to study geography or astronomy, but few are keen to find out their own true nature and their real essence. This is due to a defective education. In the present educational system, there is no place for ethical, dharmic, spiritual studies. And the result is that students do not make any attempt to understand the purpose of human life. One seeks to learn all about the physical world. One learns all about America but does not know the route to Benares. One learns all about geometry but knows little about the dimensions of his own house. One does all kinds of physical exercise but does not know how to sit in Padmasana, lotus posture. One studies botany but does not know the uses of the tulasi plant. God is the seed of all living things. This is the deplorable deficiency of the existing system of education. If students wish to realize their true divine nature, they have to turn their minds to spiritual studies. Atma Vidya, spiritual study, is not a separate branch of knowledge. As has been described in the Bhagavad Gita, it means seeing the divine in the entire universe. The Lord says, I am the seed in all living things in the universe. Bijam Mam Sarva Bhutanam. The universe is a tree of which the seed is the Lord and the fruit is humanity, Manava Tattvam. Without trying to discover the divinity that is in the human form, people are wasting their lives. If you examine the great scriptures of the world, you will find that they all emphasize the supreme preciousness of being able to discover one's divine nature, without which one cannot achieve real bliss. Man seeks worldly pleasures and prosperity, but does not seek that inner divinity which will give him permanent happiness. Uphold the good name of your country. It is deplorable that people born in this Tyaga Bhumi, sacred land of sacrifice, a Yoga Bhumi, land of spiritual practice, sadhana, have become slaves of Western civilization and are acting contrary to the genius of their own motherland. To ignore one's mother and develop attachment to others is pitiable. For a child, it is the mother who is endowed with a blissful face, however much she may be lacking in good features. That is the natural attitude of a child. But what shall I say about students who, for the sake of making a living, go on to foreign countries after acquiring some kind of degree? Instead of using your knowledge, your attainments, your abilities, your energies, and your education in the service of your own motherland, if you go to foreign countries and serve them like beggars, is this not utterly deplorable? In the Treta Yuga, after the destruction of Ravana, Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita were getting ready to leave Lanka for Ayodhya. At that time, Lakshmana spoke to Rama. If we return to Ayodhya, I doubt we will get back our kingdom. Kaikeyi might have installed Bharata on the throne. We left Ayodhya for the forest in response to the command of our father. Ayodhya may not be in prosperous condition now. You know that Lanka is more prosperous than heaven itself. Would it not be better for you to be the ruler of Lanka and enjoy all that this country can offer? Rama replied, Lakshmana, however ugly one's mother may be, I am not so insensible as to look upon some other beautiful woman and regard her as my mother. My motherland is the land of my birth. However attractive and prosperous Lanka may appear, with all the treasures of the earth, I have no use for its attractions and wealth. We, who are born in the sacred land of Bharat, should be prepared to face whatever difficulties and hardships there may be in our country and use all our talents, knowledge, and abilities to serve our country to the utmost and thereby uphold the good name of our country. Greed is the breeding ground of suffering. Our ancients have declared that greed is the breeding ground of suffering. What has happened to those who went to Iraq, Iran, or Dubai? Many of them are coming back with barely the clothes with which they left. Wealth is evanescent, like a passing cloud. Money comes and goes, morality comes and grows. It is unworthy of our people to give up their culture, their way of living, and their principles solely for making a living by selling their services to foreigners. This is totally un-Indian. Is it not possible to lead an honest life by working with your two hands and serving your motherland? Why do you entertain improper desires? It is insatiable greed which is today responsible for destroying the human quality in man. As long as desire is uncontrolled, you cannot discover the Atma. The Purusha Sukta, hymns on the Supreme Person, has declared that not by action, not by progeny, not by wealth, but only by sacrifice can one realize immortality. Na karmana na prajaya dane nai tyage naike amritatva manashahu. Sacrifice, strength, and wisdom are qualities of the divine. Use all your talents for the service of your country first, and then do whatever you can for other countries. How can you conquer the outside world without having established your control over your own house? If you cannot derive satisfaction by utilizing your education, your abilities or skills, and your intelligence for your country, how are you going to achieve it in foreign countries? Desire is something alien to Sai. Divya Swarupa, embodiments of divine nature. Whether you believe it or not, I shall tell you one thing. There is not the slightest trace of self-interest in Sai. Whatever I do, whatever paths I pursue, everything is intended for the happiness of all, for the good of all, and for the improvement of all. Not a single action of mine is undertaken for the satisfaction of my own personal desires. Desire is something alien to me. All my wishes are only to promote the welfare of the world. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all the worlds be happy. This is the only objective of Sai. It is not by plans of one kind or the other that the world can be bettered. It is only when a spiritual revolution takes place in man that the prosperity and welfare of the world can be achieved. If the mind of man is not reformed and purified, all plans to reform the world will be futile. As today's youth are the future citizens of Bharat, they have to promote the welfare of the country. Sai's main purpose is to develop the minds and attitudes of these young men on the right lines, so that they may work for the progress and welfare of Bharat. Students are the only wealth that I cherish. All my hopes are concentrated on them. To reform them and train them to serve as exemplars of righteousness is Sai's sole resolve. End of part 1 of 2. Prashanti Nilayam, November 23rd, 1980.